I have a history of grinding my teeth at night and holding a lot of tension in my jaw. I know this is very, very normal for a lot of the population, and it's uncomfortable. And the hard thing about something being normalized when it comes to tension is that you start to think that that's just the way it is and there's nothing can be done about it. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Ashley Fisher. I am a feminine embodiment coach, and my work is to support women in connecting with the most real, authentic version of themselves. And what I mean by that is I lead them into their body so they can resource from within and have a deeper connection with themselves. And from that place, they can hold their career and their families and their own hearts with more ease and enjoyment and really come fully alive within their lives and everything they carry. Now, back to my story. I was one of those people that thought this is just normal and I wished I could make the tension go away but didn't know what to do. But I also have this meditation practice, and one day I had this huge surprise. Well, when I do my meditation, I don't just always sit still. Sometimes if my body wants to stretch, I let myself. I just kind of trust what's happening. And for a long time, my body, while meditating, wanted to just sort of do this. Just really gentle. I wasn't pushing. I was just letting it move how it wanted. And one day, that movement suddenly gave way to this sort of a whoosh experience. And all of a sudden, I'm crying. And with those tears came the memory of something that happened 20 years ago. Now, the memory, I was a camp counselor. I was about 20 years old. It was a job I really loved. I'd always wanted to be a counselor, and I was finally doing it. We would do these activities called challenge course activities. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's like a activity you put a group of kids through. You could do this with adults too. And there's some sort of challenge element to it that's way outside of something they would normally do. And what happens is it creates group bonding, but it also builds a lot of self-confidence and pride within yourself for having contributed to the group process and been part of it. Because these challenge course activities, you can't do it alone. It has to be a group project. And we were doing on this particular day a human knot. So I had a bunch of, they were around 9, 10, 11 years old. And I had these girls with me, and they had connected their hands. The idea is that they have to unwind. So they're each holding, each hand has someone else's hand in the circle, and they have to untwist themselves without letting go. And it's amazing how well it works and that it is possible. And what you end up is in a circle with every other person's facing in and every other person's facing outward, but you're all in a circle. Now, it's common for kids to maybe sometimes struggle a little bit with it or feel nervous and maybe want to stop. And so as a counselor, you're always watching for that, sort of gauging, does this person genuinely need to stop, or are they just a little bit uncomfortable and they just need a little encouragement? So I had this one camper though, she's in this human knot, they're just getting started, and she turns around and she says, I'm not feeling very well. And I lean in and I'm really feeling into it because I don't know if she just wants out of it, or is she just a little off and like, okay, but can get through, or does she need to stop? And so I ask her, like, do you think you can try a little bit longer? And she says yes. So she does. And a minute or two later, she turns around and her eyes are fully cloudy and she falls. And as she's falling, I lunge forward and I catch the very end of it, catch the worst of the impact. But she had fallen and she's having a seizure. This little 10-year-old girl is having a seizure. And so suddenly everything comes to a screeching halt. One of the other counselors goes and gets the medic. She's whisked away and taken to a hospital. We're in a rather remote setting, and she ends up being okay, but it was a really scary moment. But that day, I could not stop and process because I had all these other girls still with me. I had to keep going with the group. And one of the other counselors did get to go with her to the hospital. I wanted so badly to be the one in that truck, but I wasn't. And life sort of moved on. It's like one of those experiences where you're still thinking about this person, you're still worrying in the background, but you're managing what's before you. And then the days go on. That was the memory that released. We're talking 20 years later. When I came out of that meditation meditation and I let myself feel it fully and I let myself cry. And this was a memories now I don't even think about. I hadn't thought about in many years, but now it's at the surface and now the emotions are coming out because they couldn't that day. And then coming out of that meditation, my jaw felt softer and more relaxed than it had been in a very long time. Now, there are a few takeaways I want you to carry from this story. One is that your presence is what allows these things that are the tensions inside of you to release. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't forcing it. I was letting my body lead me to whatever was happening. And my body did it by asking for a very gentle stretch. And I just followed that. I didn't expect anything of it. And that's what came. The other thing is that presence involves curiosity and courage and gentleness. So you might think, oh, I have this tension that's been within me in some part of my body for a long time. I'm just going to stretch now because I heard this YouTube video. That's not the answer. You don't force a huge stretch. You just say, body, how do you want to move with this thing you're feeling right here, this tension? Maybe include a meditation with it, right? You're gentle and you're curious and you're allowing. You can't force your way into a release, which is the third point, which is that your body knows when it's ready to let something go. And it will only tell you through the sensations that it can give you because it can't just make a noise that you're going to hear like you would someone talking to you. Your body can speak to you and it can give you words, but often the way we start noticing is you're in pain or you're uncomfortable. So listen to that, do movement practices, and if you need support, sign up for a coaching session. I can guide you into your inner world and you can get some unbelievably deep insights that come from yourself and help explain what's happening. And actually, because of your presence with the work, that old energy moves out and it doesn't get to stay anymore. I also want to remind you that jaw tension and teeth grinding or a change in your bite can be related to a dental or medical condition that requires professional support. So please make sure you have checked those boxes. You have sought medical support for your jaw. You can add in this emotional component, which can be very powerful in supporting a healing journey, but don't disregard the medical piece of that, okay? And if you would like to just take a moment, I think you can even just let your body talk to you right now. So I'd encourage you, if you're in a place where you can, just close your eyes and just notice. You're not going to force it. Just notice where you're tense. Can you feel it? And is this place or these places, is that normal for you? Is it so normal it's just in the background? And can you give yourself permission to relax just 2% more in this moment? And in your mind and your heart, can you commit to your body that you're going to return to this? And you're going to gently be present with these tensions. And you're going to explore what your body might have to share around it. If this was helpful to you, just please drop a note in the comments. Tell me what you experienced by listening or how you can relate to it. Or if there's like a thing you're struggling with. It could be physical tension. It could be an emotional thing. It could be a situation in your life. If you drop a comment, it can help me think about other content I can create to support you and the community of listeners. And also, if you haven't yet, please go to my website, everyoucoaching.com. There's a freebie up there. It's called an energy planning primer. It is full of some great insights and guidance to help you use your energy in the right ways and to actually access more energy so you know how to plan your calendar in ways that are truly satisfying, don't deplete you, but also allow you to really engage and go all out at the right times and be super successful in your life. Thank you so much for joining. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.